Now, global efforts to combat tuberculosis have saved an estimated 66 million lives since the year 2000. Meanwhile, the COVID-19 pandemic has reversed years of progress made in the fight to end tuberculosis. Speaking on the diagnosis, treatment, prevention, and how more investments can be made to save millions more lives was Dr. Akinriola, a medical specialist who was met with by a correspondent. Details by Fatima Ihunwo.
Tuberculosis is a contagious illness that primarily affects the lungs but can affect any organ in the body. The bacteria can spread by droplets in the air, causing it to develop. Although tuberculosis can be lethal, it is often prevented and treated.
Tuberculosis is a chronic granulomatous disease caused by a bacteria called Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which affect the lungs, and it can also affect other parts of the body.
The theme, investing to end the disease and save lives, conveys the urgent need to ramp resources to the fight against tuberculosis and achieve the commitment to put an end to it, and to ensure equitable access to prevention and care in line with World Health Organization's drive towards achieving universal health coverage.
Pulmonary TB has certain symptoms. First is chronic cough. Chronic cough is being defined as cough that lasts more than 2 weeks. Any patient with cough of more than 2 weeks should be screened for pulmonary tuberculosis. And second, they could have anorexia, poor appetite. They are not feeling well, and they can also have low-grade fever.
Tuberculosis is the leading cause of death of people with HIV and a major contributor to antimicrobial resistance. Over 4,000 people die from tuberculosis and nearly 30,000 people fall ill with tuberculosis disease, despite it being preventable. And
having contact with a person who has TB and who has active tubercle bacilli, the person can transmit a tuberculosis, one, and then people staying in overcrowded environments are prone to having tuberculosis. Taking unpasteurized milk. Some people take milk that are not pasteurized, so they are also prone. Patients that are immunosuppressed, patients who are diabetic, patients who are on steroid, patients who have HIV/AIDS, patients who have cancers, malignancies, they are prone.
Funds can be raised from tax revenues, social or private insurance schemes, and out-of-pocket expenditures. Loans from external sources such as World Bank also qualify as domestic funding. Domestic funding from national and local government should provide the foundation for the funding of tuberculosis control.
Close contact, if you see anyone having chronic cough lasting more than 2 weeks, avoid such person. The use of face masks should be encouraged, and wash your hand, and then living in an overcrowded environment should be discouraged. People should live in a well-ventilated apartment. There should be at least 2 windows adjacent in a room. That is the WHO recommendation. Patients on steroid, patients who are fond of abusing steroid should desist from that. Patients who are immunosuppressed, if you are diabetic, take your drugs. If you have HIV, take your drugs, and other things that could predispose. Quit smoking. Those are the ways to prevent. Government has been fantastic in their approach towards ending tuberculosis, but I believe that they can still do more. For instance, the use of gene expert machine. Gene expert machine is the recent machine that is about 95% sensitive in testing resistance to rifampicin and isoniazid, which by government policy should be in every local government. However, I don't know if that is in every local government of the nation. So government can do better by getting those equipment facilities that are needed, and drugs, the anti-TB drugs, the constant supply, government should work more on that. They've been doing that.
Fatima Ihumo, reporting for KAFTAN Television.